Hello, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my Sims 4 video about this week's game update. In this video, I'm going to be going over a few things to do with the update. There's been an issue for some with enabling their mods. I'm going to do an overview of what was new in the update. The fact that the skin tones were not fixed. We weren't expecting the new skin tones, but there was supposed to be a fix to the skin tones. We got some updated hairstyles, 2 of them. There were some bug fixes, there were a few mod issues, not so many this time, and some common bugs that have not been fixed in this game update. As usual, I will link to this tweet, which links to the patch notes if you want to see them for yourself. Now, the first thing I'm going to touch on is the mods not enabling, and there are a few things that you can try if you are having this issue. First off, per this tweet from Krenrick, try trashing or just moving your options.ini file to your desktop. That will be located in your Documents, Electronic Arts, The Sims 4 folder. You may want to check to see where your settings were in the first place that you want to keep before you try doing that. The next thing is that there are actually some issues if you're using Avast antivirus. That could be causing the issues with the mods, and there are also some issues with screenshots not saving. Make sure you add those 3 files as an exception to Avast, and that may help your issue. The other thing is check that your game version is the same as the new update, and that can happen if you're using your own version of the default.ini in your folder noted there. And the last thing, if none of those things work, try a factory reset of the game. I will link to Krenrick's help blog, which has all the details there, but essentially just rename your The Sims 4 folder to the Sims 4_backup or something like that. So first off, I'm going to just go over some of the new things that we got with the update. Right now, I'm going to focus on the objects, and you can see there the murals on the screen, and now there is the pergola with different colors. You can kind of see it. We also got the grill and the table and chairs and a decorative pot, which will all be coming up there on the screen in many brightly different colors, as well as a couple that are just plain black and white for the table and the chairs too, but the chairs still have the little designs. And we also got the new food types. You can see a screenshot of all the new foods on the screen, including their details. And I did note that all of the foods, except for the chicken chimichurri skewers, would come out normal, no matter what my Sim's skill level. If you've maxed the cooking and the gourmet cooking skill, you can then garnish it to make them excellent. And if you have outdoor retreat and have the stoves and grill masters trait, then there's a chance they can come out excellent or even impeccable. But I have a bug report that I created for that. So if you notice that in your game, I tried this across many saves, go at me too and comment with your experience. I'll link it down below. Of course, the other thing we got was some new CAS items. And one thing I forgot to mention, which is going to be true for the build buy as well as for the new items, is this is added to base game, so they will not show as new. And one way I find that makes it easier to find them is to filter and only show base game. It just makes things stand out more if you have a lot of different packs. Much easier to find. Of course, for females, we got 2 tops. We got that jacket that was shown and the jersey that is shown here on the male. The male got that, and there is also the new tattoo that is shown there on the Sim, and kids got a t-shirt, as you can see. Nothing for toddlers, but still some nice bright additions to the game with respect to that. And the other thing is that the skin tones, I will link to this below, but there is actually still an issue with it. It seems like it didn't actually fix it, even though it was meant to fix it. And that is, even if you have everything set where it's supposed to be, it's not working at all. But SimGuru Frost acknowledged that they had noticed that too, and that they were looking into it. We got 2 hairs updated. These are hairs that were already in the game, and now they will look like this. I did see a before picture somewhere of the hair on the left, and it was definitely, the braids were not as clear and precise. They were much fuzzier in the picture that I saw, but I couldn't find the picture when I went to go look for it afterwards. But this is what it looks like. And you can see that is in the forum patch notes, not in the patch notes on EA.com. So here is some of the bug fixes for Sims 4. A few of these are ones that I actually saw many people asking about. There was an issue with the garbage cans looking like it was filled, even if you didn't have that eco lifestyle lot trait installed. Even if you had eco lifestyle installed and didn't use the lot trait, it would still look like it was filled. That's been fixed. Sims should use the dining table again. Bills are now actually going to reflect the property value. Before they were capped at 300 for the property value that you would have to pay for it. So your bills are going to be higher. So keep an eye out for that. Sims should be potty training and reading their children to sleep, which I never had an issue with that, other than if the bed is against the wall, then that doesn't work. But there's still issues with the blocks from what I had seen. And you can see a few other things on the page there. Issues were things like bed assignments were being reset when you transferred Sims into the household. And the Lindsay smart speaker has been updated to play the focus and metal stations. That's sort of across the board, I noticed, with some of the other notes you'll see. So Island Living had something fixed to do with rocks. Discovery University, that ICA-YA chest would get locked after you moved a sim from one to another, which I stopped using it because of that. So I haven't tested to see that actually is fixed. But if it is, then that would be very good. And Eco Lifestyle, there were a few things that were fixed. The community voting board is no longer listed as debug, so you should be able to see it and you should be able to place it easily without having to use the showing the debug items. Civil designer Sims can complete work from home assignments. The fabricator shouldn't break as frequently. And also that cooking and baking, where they were constantly doing that should be fixed. And from what I'm seeing, that is actually correct. People I know who are having that problem have said that has been resolved. And also the bits and pieces were being reset if Sims moved to other households, and that's supposed to be fixed. One thing they don't mention here, but was fixed, it was sort of a stealth fix, is there were issues with the commodities, they call them, getting stuck to Sims, and they would continue to do the actions even if you repealed the naps and whatnot. That is fixed. And so that is a very good thing, which would be very beneficial. As for the next one, we have Outdoor Retreat, Dine Out, Fitness Stuff, Tiny Living, and Moschino, which had some things fixed. And you will see for Fitness Stuff and Tiny Living, they all had to do with those two new music stations. Moschino, the Q and E when you were using the tripod weren't working properly, and that's supposed to be fixed. Outdoor Retreat, there were issues with extinguishing the fire, so that's been fixed. And there was an issue with restaurant menus that is supposed to be fixed. Now moving on, there was not a huge impact on mods with this update, such that Luthien Rising just actually reused the September 3rd forum post to include any things that were issues with this one. But one thing that did get broken is many default skins, and you can see those on the list there as being broken. Some have already been updated, you can see that, and that's just the default skins, not the skin details or whatnot. So if you use those, go check that out. I will link to her tweet which has that. Now the other thing that is still outstanding and didn't get fixed with this update, I saw a lot of people asking, oh, this didn't get fixed, but last update broke the CC doors and windows, and you can see there that a number have been updated, but there's also a workaround that you can do until it's been updated. I would expect that possibly Sims 4 Studio needs to be updated to be able to do a batch repair, but that has not happened yet. Again, this is from the last update, and it is not actually something that it looks like EA is going to be able to fix, because it's something to do with how they changed the whole windows, and the CC creators themselves are going to need to fix them. I will link to this, how to temporarily fix CC windows, down below if you are interested in checking that out. Of course, along with the things that were fixed, there were quite a few things that either I have seen affected a lot of my saves, or I've seen a lot of people commenting have affected their saves that have not been fixed. The freelancer career gigs are not completing. There is a mod by Louis Sim, which I will link below. That was not fixed. Of course, if you're on console, the mod is not going to help you, unfortunately, but until then, until EA fixes it, we can't really use that career very well. Any of the freelancer careers they're all affected by this. Games are not finishing. I think Little Miss Sam has a mod for that. And one issue with games not finishing is if you're playing with a child and you want them to do the whiz kid aspiration, they need to play 3 chess games. So one workaround that you can do is have the sim playing with them stop playing, and that will count for the child as a game played. So if anything, it can be quicker to get through it because they don't actually have to play the whole game anymore. But that's something that you can do to work around with that. There were gardening issues. It's a popular post on EA Answer headquarters. Plants would look like the harvestable after you harvest from it, or they're turning to dirt piles. That unfortunately was not fixed. Kids aren't consistently learning adult skills when they complete the underlying skill as a child, i.e. if you max creativity, you should be unlocking violin and piano and singing and things like that. One thing that I generally find works but isn't consistently working is try not to have your sim child be on the aspiration when they finish maxing the skill, if that's going to have them complete the aspiration. And then before you travel or reload or save and quit, have them go around and unlock all the related skills. So one thing that you need to consider is that sometimes you actually have to stop the action and start it again. So if you have your sim child playing a violin, for example, and they max the creativity, they're not going to automatically unlock the violin skill. They need to stop it and then start, and then it unlocks the violin skill. And that's true with some other things. I think I noticed that with fishing. I don't think that was an issue with logic, so it's hit and miss. You just have to play around a little bit with it. I will link to all of these bugs down below, and some of these things are suggested there. NanoCan's still not paying when the player puts the garbage in, even though that was on SimGuru Nick's acknowledged issues. And the get-together doors and windows, or some of them, are having the same issue as the CC windows, where you can't see through the windows at all. If it's a door, the sim still can go through it as a door, but, it doesn't look very pleasing. So that is actually going to be it for this video overview of, what was fixed, what some issues are, and what was not fixed, and what was new. Let me know if you had a favorite thing with this game update down below. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! This has been Jennifer. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. I'd love to see them. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more videos of challenge, let's plays, tutorials, and occasional speed builds, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much!